Hello and welcome to this episode of Spotlight 219, sponsored by Horseshoe Casino Hammond, offering a premier gaming and entertainment experience in Northwest Indiana. Today marks a special occasion as this is our 40th episode, and to help us celebrate the milestone, we are joined with the one and only Chris Pappas to talk about the reopening of Provecho this past weekend, the transition in taking over the Lighthouse, and maybe giving us a little insight into when Parisi's might officially open. Chris? What's up?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, so busy time for you right now. You've got a lot going on.
Yes, sir. Doesn't end.
Well, before we kick off and we get into what everyone's tuning in to check out, I did make a video for you. I went back to really like bring in, it's a love letter really at the end of the day to you from me.
Oh, God.
I went back and I went through the last 8 years of footage I have of you.
All right.
And created a montage. You ready?
I'm nervous because I know you've made some some parody montages too. So I'm scared to what you put together now. So.
All right. Well, here we go.
I can't remember when you weren't there, when I didn't care for anyone but you. I swear we've been through everything there is. Can't imagine anything we've missed. Can't imagine anything the two of us can't do. Through the years, you've never let me down. You've turned my life around. The sweetest days I found with you. Through the years, I've never been afraid of love, the life we made. And I'm so glad I stayed right here with you through the years.
Well,
Oh man, that was good.
a lot of times, man. I mean, I started Local 219 in November 17. I think you guys were January 18.
Yeah.
We were kitty corner, and it's just amazing how many times that you've been on Local 219 at this point.
You're right. It's been. I think we started right around the same time. So that's crazy.
And boy, have we grown.
Life has changed. Life has
Kids
changed.
and everything else.
Yes, sir. That is
Yes.
true.
So let's talk grand reopening of Provecho after the fire. We'll get into that really quick. How was it for you, and what was kind of the emotional background of it?
It was awesome. Everything went better than expected. We interviewed there with you on opening night. I mean, we got to have everybody that's been involved from the start there. I mean, you just said it yourself before we were talking. I mean, we had the house loaded with people that we've been in the same circles with for the last 8 to 9 years, and it was an awesome experience to get that back going. It's been difficult showing up to a restaurant every day, waiting on insurance emails, waiting on seemed like forever. Showing up, nothing getting done because nothing was approved, and it's just it's been a long time coming, so it feels like eternity. But this has happened at a very crazy time in my life. Just brand new baby, fire Provecho, and we knew that Lighthouse was transitioning. Obviously, it was under wraps, so we couldn't really say anything. But when it happened, I'm just like, I don't even know how this is gonna go down, but we're gonna figure it out. And Parisi's on the table, and it's there's a lot of moving parts, but I mean, his Provecho opening went better than expected, and I think that we got a lot of little fine tuning to go. We had to hire 5 or 6 new guys in the kitchen, so we're getting getting everything situated and new systems in place, and just little things. But I think everything is great so far, so good.
Well, food was awesome. And you're right. The people, I mean, it was crazy. I think one of the hardest things about my job nowadays is taking a camera and trying to actually do a video, because I get caught in so many conversations that I want to be in. I don't want to say caught. And that room was packed with awesome people. It felt familial. You know, it felt like everyone was like, we're coming home. Like it was like a Thanksgiving time almost.
Yeah.
So whether it was PJ Gabur or Brian Skaggs or I think Lisa and Vern Beck, just really cool to see everybody, man. So great job on that.
Thank you. Thank you. It was great.
So let's talk Lighthouse.
Yeah, we're here now.
You've been pretty quiet about it, I would say publicly, since you've kind of taken it over. Let's start with just maybe a little bit of like, how did it even come about that was even a possibility?
So, I mean, this has been a project that we've been considering for several years. A representative of the White family reached out a couple years ago, and it was like a cold call, and I didn't think it was real. You know, one of those, you know, you get a lot of spam calls nowadays. And one thing led to another. We had a mutual friend that I have had that connected us that started conversating, and I was like, I don't even think that this is going to be something that we can work out, but we can always discuss. And after like 2 years of discussions, we kind of came to an agreement, and it kind of came to fruition very slowly. White Lodging is a very big company, so it's been a lot of moving parts. I mean, this location alone has very, very, very many employees. So, that they're making sure that they're taken care of, making sure their benefits, their pay, everything was, matched. And, they're just making sure that they were looking out for their own, and they had to feel me out too. It's a mutual relationship, they taking over their, the late Dean and Bruce White's baby per se here, and making sure that we carry it through the generation. I think that that's my main goal. And I think that that was what hit home with them too. I'm not trying to change it into a whole different concept. We're just going to try to, re-envision kind of what that was, kind of get back to the basics and make it better. So it's going to be awesome.
Shout out to Mike Banis. I know he's probably watching. The other side of it, you talked about keeping the tradition alive and envisioning kind of a newer process, maybe potentially. What does that look like for you? Is that a menu change? Is that, and were you a fan of the Lighthouse prior to acquiring it?
Oh yeah, I mean this location and this whole setup here is super awesome. I mean, I think this place is so cool. So when any of the possibility came, I got excited, to do this. I mean, the menu changes. We just released a menu about 3 weeks ago. We honed down to the basics. We're kind of going back to a lot of the things that were causing problems, and just trying to changing the sourcing. Going back to all the vendors that I use, and I know that I can trust the product and things like that, and working with them and trying to figure out what works for them. There's a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah,
and my goal isn't to interrupt that business flow. I mean, we transitioned right in the middle of the patio season, which is, the patio here is second to none. It's
unbelievable. Yeah,
here too. So the amount of change that I was able to make was I didn't want to I'm not trying to change things too fast. We're trying to do it strategically, and so we're now at the point where things are, with the patio closing outside, we're looking at what we are going to be doing for patio season next year. And we released that menu a few weeks ago, so you haven't tried it out, come by. It's pretty awesome. We did some tweaks on it. So, but the staff here has been probably the best part. I mean, they've been really welcoming. They've been great to work with, easy to work with. They're open to my changes. I mean, I have a lot of ideas, but not all of them are good, I tell them, but there's a lot of ideas. So, little baby steps here, staff, just trying to get used to operating with their systems, and then try to alter it to work on my systems. That's been the biggest learning curve here. We're trying to make the transition seem pretty seamless, but in the background it's been a whole period of growth for us. I mean, we're reinventing systems not only for here at Lighthouse, but for everywhere across the board. We've grown the office. My back office staff has grown. We have a culinary director now, marketing director, I have a beverage director now. So we're all trying to, it's not only my ideas now. So it's also really cool to have other people, be a part of the process and help me, execute that vision. So it's been fun. It's learning. I mean, change isn't going to happen overnight, and we're working, little by little here.
Well, shout out to Dana, Chef Mike, everybody that's still there. I really genuinely enjoyed working with over the years. Glad to hear that they're still there. In general, for people who, I think one of the big things I heard, and I never thought it was truly fair, to be completely honest, was heading into this. It felt like there was a lot of people who went to the Lighthouse early and then had some kind of issue with the way, whether it's like the hot plates were taken away or they said quality went down, which I never really bought into. What could you say to those people that might be kind of interesting for them to maybe give it another shot?
Yeah, I think that I can understand where some of the fail points were happening. This is a big operation. There's a lot of moving parts. Chef Mike has a lot of work in front of him here, and I'm just here for that support. And I think that those little changes that we're making, I think, is going to make a big difference right off the bat. I think that I've noticed quite a bit of increased changes here. It's been good. I mean, we're taking new systems now and trying to change that, across the board and retrain a staff of over 150. It doesn't happen. I mean, I wish that I could say that it's perfect. It's not. And I urge those people that had a bad experience to give us a try again. I mean, I'm a big proponent to feedback. I mean, I'm not always right. And we can, my biggest goal is to, we want to make people leave happy. And to do that, I need feedback, and hearing the good stuff is always good. You want to make sure that you're headed in the right direction, but I want to know where those fail points are. That's my job. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. I show up to work every day dealing with the most difficult problems. I don't get to deal with, and the bigger you get, that's all I deal with. I deal with problems all day. So it's not just, and they're not little problems. They're like, bigger problems where you have to, engage with the customers and then I have to take that data and then, you have to go back to like, why is this happening? How can we prevent it from happening again? And then that sequence, goes into, retraining, figuring out a different product. And there's a lot of steps behind that. So changes is going to take some time, but it's, I want to hear that feedback, and I really hope that people come and try us out again. I think that, the staff has been really welcoming of those changes and those little changes. They understand why those changes are happening. And I think that, we've noticed a big improvement, not, over just what we were doing before. And it wasn't bad. It's just that it's a big operation. And so like, there's little things and little pinpoints that can make, for a bad experience. And I'm trying to, weed those out. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, good luck on that front. I think that's one thing I try to like really drive home here. Especially when it comes to talking about new restaurants or restaurants in general, is that the general public would be better served talking to a manager than writing anything on comments or blasting people digitally. I think that most people, they lose the humanization of it. And it's what you're doing is like a major conquest. And I don't think people, they have one bite of a steak and they're this is the worst place ever. And they're lighting you up,
Yeah. And I think you and I talked about this a long time ago with Yelp reviews and things like that, right? Remember we were talking about doing that skit back in the day? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I understand reviews. I get it. But I would love to hear directly how I can help fix that problem than bashing us online, because like we take that to heart. Like I keeps me up at night. There's a lot of people here that can attest to being the same. Like it, this is our livelihood, and when you make a bad experience, we want to make sure that we can fix the problem. We're not in the business of accepting that bad review and then just moving on. Like we want to, like, I don't understand. There is a humanization part of that. We want to make sure that we make things right. So just to go online and give us a bad review and we could talk, this could be a whole nother segment, of reviews in restaurants. I mean, you got to be fair. This business is tough. We have a lot of people, a lot of different personalities, a lot of different personalities of guests, how they perceive things. And it's only getting harder as food costs rise, because people are very sensitive to the dollar now. Things are costing more. That's just the reality of everything. And so when they come and, we have to put a steak on the menu for $50 just because of our costs, people are very, very particular. And I totally agree with him. I mean, I would be the same way. If you're going to go pay big money for a steak, we want to make sure that you're happy, and just to go online and leave a bad review without making sure that we can make you happy, like that's what we're about. You know, I don't want to, and I can think any other chef in my position. We're not in the business of making people leave unhappy. You know, we want to make sure we're happy. And so give me the opportunity to fix that. You know, and I think that's what we're all about.
Yeah, and I think talking to people is harder because it feels more like confrontation. But at the end of the day, it's way better. You'll end up having a better experience by talking to somebody as opposed to just digitally writing and blowing people up. That's not really I think my problem with it is that there's no real retort from the business itself after that's been made publicly. It's like the damage gets done, and then it's kind of like you're stuck with it, and that's not fair. You know?
Yeah, and it's a we're rocking a hard place with those, you know, and I understand why. You know, I would, you know, people will go on the next day, like 48 hours after their experience, and leave a 1-star review, and you're like, well, I would have loved to help you in the moment. You know, I would have loved to make sure that you didn't leave happy. I would have loved to know why. And of course I would have, you know, had some empathy with that situation. It's not like I'm going to come and I hope that, and most people know me, I don't really have that big, I don't have an ego about the food. You know, it's we're here, you know, food is to be celebrated around the table. I love, you know, having people gather and have occasions. So I don't want people to, you know, I want people to have a good experience. Why wouldn't we? So it's hard for me to you know, see those come in, but you know, we win some, you lose some. So
heck yeah. Well, so people at home, just talk to Chris. He will be more than happy to take care of you. Yeah. So let's go on from Lighthouse, Parisi's. Let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, if you can give people maybe an understanding of maybe some form of concept that's going to be happening there, and then a potential opening date. I'm not going to stick you to that. I know restaurants opening them is really tough.
Yeah, no, it's been a process. For those that don't know, Billy Parisi, awesome guy, good friend of mine. We met 5 or 6 years ago when he moved to Crown Point. And we just stayed in touch over the years, and you know, after Ricochet, or we kind of knew that Ricochet's space was opening up, and Billy and I had some coffee at Small Town, and he's like, what do we want to do? And we couldn't think of anything that would, you know, fill the market need. And Billy was like, what about Italian? And I'm like, let's do it. I mean, I'm all for it, but I go, we need to do it awesome. We need to, like, do, you know, we're doing handmade pastas, wood-fired pizza. So all the pastas are made from scratch. We're trying to, you know, to be more family friendly, to where it's, you know, $16 to $25 pastas. It's not going to be anything astronomical. You know, trying to, you know, have some lunch service in there, you know, lunch to dinner. It's going to be, you know, we want to be welcoming for the, you know, for everyday families to come after soccer practice, and, you know, and not feel like it's too higher end to enjoy. So, but anyways, you know, going back, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but, you know, Billy and I were coming to this concept. You know, he's like, what about calling it Parisi's? I'm like, I'm fine with that. I don't, you know, let's do it. And so
you already have a Pappas's.
Yeah, we don't have
a Pappas's too.
It's totally fine with me. So we are working with that, and we were been in the design process, architecture processes. You know, the architecture process was probably the 4 months of delays, you know, trying to figure it out. We had to send plans down to state, and then we had to wait on that to come back. So we finally just got those back about, I would say, 3-4 weeks ago. And so we are, you know, going out for bids now. So we're still under construction. I mean, luckily a lot of the work that needs to be done isn't very, like time, I would say time involved. So there is some time involved, but it's not like the big mechanical work, and it's not, you know, obviously the kitchen already exists there. There's a whole basement kitchen as well. So it's all cosmetic work that needs to be done. So yeah, we're looking to build up on the second story to add more seats up there, and you know, make a little bit more welcoming space. So there's some work that needs to be done, but that's the concept. I don't really know of a final timeline. It just depends on when these bids come back, and trying to figure out what we're going to do. So
okay, well, you have to come back on and bring Billy on next time when the opening gets a little closer.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're hoping early next year, but you know, with construction and timing of materials, who knows? So So,
well, it was a cool space. They did a great job as being Ricochet. I can't wait to see what you guys do to upgrade it, especially that is a great call. Adding more seats upstairs. That was the one thing about it was limited. But open, it was such an open concept, big windows. It was nice. So
yeah, it's a really cool, building. All these, obviously I've been on the square for a while, and these buildings are so cool, but they do have their issues with space. So, we're trying to make it the best of both worlds here, keeping it an open kitchen, moving the bar around a little bit. The wood fire pizza oven will be visible too. So it'll be cool. So
super cool. Hey, so are you cool to stick around for a little bit after this commercial for a rapid fire segment?
Sure.
All right. Before we continue, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor.
Calling all college football and NFL fans, game day just leveled up at the Fan Cave inside the Horseshoe Hammond Casino. Watch 8 games at once with your crew in a private viewing area. Room for 15 fans with space to grow to 50. Craving great wings or a cold one? You and your guests will have access to a full food and bar menu with your own personal Fan Cave server running point. And when the final whistle blows, the casino fun is just steps away. Reserve your spot at the Fan Cave today, only at Caesar Sportsbook Horseshoe Hammond. Game day, your way.
Podcast.
Did you like that? Did you like that VO, or did you not hear it at all? Because I was on fire.
No, I was on it. It was great.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is a segment, Rapid Fire, Chris, where I just asked the most random questions, and then you come up with your response. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
So you own Ramen District,
Sure.
Pappas's Restaurant. You own Provecho. You got Lighthouse. You got Parisi's coming. If you had to tell somebody one dish that on any of your menus that you would absolutely have to try, what would that be?
From each place, or just from one?
One place. You got one shot.
Carnitas from Provecho.
Okay, nice. Pork or chicken?
Pork.
Why?
I don't know. Just because it's good.
Okay.
Because of Steve Howe. Let's just put it that way.
All right. So you're pretty ambitious and you're doing a lot. What are, let me think about this for a second. What keeps you, what drives you every single day to keep potentially growing or kind of continuing to achieve what you're achieving?
2 things. My family, my kids and my wife, and, my dad's been in business for 55 years and trying to keep that, that group going. And then the community, trying to, do something different, bring me back to the place that I grew up in.
Okay. What would you tell a young chef getting into the business, knowing what you know now, and what would be like the best route for them to really do something?
Don't say no. Don't have an ego. And there's always something to learn every single day.
And show up for your interviews.
Well,
Great.
Still blows my mind.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you so much. For people who maybe want to kind of plug in, check out reservations or whatever, where can they go? I know you got probably a ton of URLs. So
lots of URLs. Obviously, each individual website has their own reservations link. Lighthouse Cedar Lake, Provecho CP. Those are the obviously the ones we talked about, but every single restaurant has their own reservation link to make it simpler for you.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much. This was really anticipated. Excited to see what I'm going to try to get to the Lighthouse as soon as I can to check out what you have going on. And then excited for Parisi's, man, and proud of you. Great job. You're doing a killer job, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care, Chris.
You too.
So thanks for watching this episode of Spotlight, and make sure to check out some of the events going on at the venue at Horseshoe Casino Hammond, including Andrew Santino this weekend on 11/22, Cedric the Entertainer on 12/5, and The Public Enemy December 27th. To find out about all things happening in the region, go to the Times website at nwi.com or on their socials, and please check out our Eat Local 219 app, both on iTunes and Android. New episodes drop every week on Thursday, so be on the lookout. Thanks again for watching, and have a great weekend.
Calling all college football and NFL fans. Game day just leveled up at the Fan Cave inside the Horseshoe Hammond Casino. Watch 8 games at once with your crew in a private viewing area. Room for 15 fans with space to grow to 50. Craving great wings or a cold one? You and your guests will have access to a full food and bar menu with your own personal Fan Cave server running point. And when the final whistle blows, the casino fun is just steps away. Reserve your spot at the Fan Cave today, only at Caesar Sportsbook Horseshoe Hammond. Game day, your way.